Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Hopefully in this one I'll have a bit better luck with taking windows out, although I did manage okay in the last one, just not with the first one. So fingers crossed it goes okay, and you can watch how I get on. And once we've done the windows, we're going to start stripping down the rest of the things that need to come off the car, and it'll be interesting to see what the bodywork is like underneath. Because the car looks super clean for its age, apart from the shady paintwork. So I'm not expecting anything untoward when I take the body kit off. So fingers crossed. Time lapse for a while there, although it probably didn't seem like that long for you. It was a lot longer for me. Basically, I've stripped one side of the car, I think, of the plastics and rubbers and stuff like that. Wasn't too much trouble, but the next side will be easier because I know what I'm dealing with. So I'll let you have a look at the side that's done. And then we'll get cracked on with the other side. And I've done the back, apart from I need to take the final strip off, but I'll need to get the heat gun out for a few things and try out the toffee wheel that I got. So we'll come to that later. So have a look and see what you think. So that's the wheel arch off on that side. And the side moldings, so looks okay. You can see there's very light surface rust there, but that's good. It's not bad at all. So I was kind of expecting it might be worse than that. There's a wee rust spot on the rear arch there, which looks a lot worse than it is. So I need to do something with that, deal with that. But you can see the shady looking paintwork on it. I think I've tried to show you bits before. Could especially see here when I was taking bits off. It's just really quite bad. And I'm not complaining about that because I only need to make it a lot better than that, which I know I can. So that's good, but I suppose I wouldn't be painting it unless it needed it. You can see there's like some minor dings and things, so might need to have a go at trying to dress them off. I did reach out to the Dent Devils guy I normally use, but he's talking about a week today or something, so that doesn't really work for obviously getting things done as quickly as possible. But yeah, no nasties under the body kit on this side. Just a little bit of light surface rust, so that's kind of expected because obviously you can see how bad that is. It's really, really shoddy. Yeah, you can you've got some water is gonna collect behind there, so it's it's definitely gonna corrode at some point. So but yeah, nothing that I'm too worried about. So that's cool. So I think I'll go and have a quick break, get something to eat, and come back out and do the other side. I haven't taken this off because I can't remember where I found out, and I'll need to double check, but I don't believe you can get those anymore. And if that is true, then what I'm going to need to do is do a really good job of masking it off, because I don't want to take it off if I can't replace it, and it's not the kind of thing you can really pull off another car and put it on another one, because by the time you pull it off, it's probably going to be wrecked. So I will double check that, but I don't believe you can get them anymore, so we might need to just live with masking that on and leaving it on. But anyway, I'll go and get a break and strip down the other side and time lapse that, and then we'll talk about what's next. So here it is with the trim off, and yeah, the other window out over there, didn't break it, so that's good. I've not taken the windscreen out yet, I'll need to do that. But yeah, it's looking okay. It's obviously, you know, bits of rust underneath where the trim was, which is not surprising, same as the other sides. But yeah, that rust there does go down in behind the bumper, so there's not really any way of fixing that properly without taking the bumper off, and I want to do the job to the best of my ability. So the grille and everything obviously comes off nice and easy. So I'll just need to figure out what's going on with the bumper. Apparently you need to take the indicators out, so that's fine, that's just a couple of screws. So I think enough chat. I'll pop these indicator lenses out and chuck my big jack there under here just to give it some support, just in case. And yeah, hopefully that's not too much trouble to get it off. Once it's off, I'll be able to crack on with starting to sand. What I'm going to do is sand, sorry, that's just the vent rattling. What I'm going to do is start by sanding the rusty bits, just to see if there's anywhere that I'm going to need to do any welding, you know, maybe have to weld in some small repair panels. So obviously I'd rather do that first before I get on to the rest of the bodywork. I mentioned that it was going to be a week before the Dent Devils guy could get to me. I was thinking about that, and I was thinking that even if he doesn't get out before I paint it, he could still do it after it, so that's not a problem. But I will probably try and dress off some of the wee things myself. Excuse me. So yeah, let's crack on, get the front bumper off hopefully, and then possibly need to do the same at the back. Yeah, I'm gonna need to take the back bumper off as well. So all right, let's get cracked on and see what we're working with. So there you can see the bumpers off of the car, and it's looking a bit bare at the front now without the grille and the bumper on it. So managed to get this part off here, and that's the bit that joins the bumper bar here to the actual well, in between the cross member. And the reason that you have to have this on is that these wee parts here have captive nuts in them, and so the bolts that go through up through the bottom into the cross member, they locate in here, so you can't put them back on without having these bits, but that doesn't mean that you need to have the whole lot on, so that's quite good. And the bit that, I don't know if you can see, yeah, so you can see there's a nut down there, and then I don't know if you'll be able to see, but on the other side of it there's like a coach bolt. It's not very easy to see and it's not very easy to access, hence the problem. But basically, there's a light here. Yeah, you can maybe just, there you go, you can see the top of it. So that's the issue, is that that's just swiveling around. And I mean, normally what I do is I put the induction heat tool on there, because that can help to free off nuts, even if the other end is kind of spinning a little bit. But I'm not really too keen on doing that, because obviously it's a plastic bumper and I don't really want to melt it. And I'm trying to think what the other thing I thought of was, yeah, I mean, I could have put a weld onto the top of the captive nut, but again, it's not really very easy accessed, and again, I'll probably end up melting plastic, so I'm just gonna have to try to hold that somehow. I took the fog light out there, as you can see. It was just one bolt, it just slots into there, and then bolts up on that side. So yeah, I took that out, and that's given me a little bit more access, so hopefully that's given me enough access that I can get that off, because it would be really good just to get this off, put the bumper to the side, shove these back on, these brackets back on, so I can get the cross member secured and then rattle on to the back bumper, which will hopefully be a bit more straightforward to remove. Okay, let's crack on and see how we do. So I managed to get the windscreen out, that was great, and tidied up the garage a bit. So now what I'm going to do is start sanding the worst bits, so that I can see what I need to do. So obviously there'll be some bits that I need to fabricate some repair panels and then weld them in, and other bits that, you know, it's just surface rust, so probably just a little skim of filler just to flatten it all out. So I'll let you have a look at the car just now, and then we'll get cracked on with doing some sanding. So I'm just going to run over the bits, the worst bits, with the DA with 240 grit. That should make pretty light work of it, and then I'll really be able to see what it's like behind it, because you know, rust can look quite bad, but then it's not that bad when you actually get under it, and vice versa. Sometimes it doesn't look that bad and then it is. So we'll have a look and see, but have a look around the car just now and you can see what it's looking like. So there it is, finally all stripped down, all the windows out, seals out, everything like that. It wasn't too difficult, to be honest. I have a better idea what I'm doing on the next one, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. See, there's a bit of corrosion there in the middle there, sorry, in the corner there of the windscreen. Oh, the dent devils guy was round as well. He's out taking all the the really shallow dings out. Bit down there, obviously bits of rust on the sills, back arch, wee bit there, So yeah, so we'll get a DA in it and then see where we are, and hopefully I can get all those bits sanded tonight, and then that means I can go and get some metal tomorrow and start doing some cutting and welding. Alright, so it's a few days later, maybe even a week later, but back on it again now. I did a bit of sanding off camera yesterday. I wasn't sure how much I'd get done, so I didn't bother filming it, but then I ended up actually doing quite a lot. So I'll show you the rust holes. I don't think I showed you them. And I'll also just show you the bit that I've started sanding as well. And I've ordered lots of panels, which I didn't think I'd need, and they're coming tomorrow. So if I could get this, finish sanding this today, that would be great, because that means I can get on to cutting out metal and replacing metal tomorrow, which means that we're closer to being able to get painting it. So have a look and see what you think. Alright, so yeah, I started I think with 240 grit or something on this, and then I kept on going down to more coarse and more coarse grit, and then I realised how much paint was on it, so then I kind of chiseled it off, and then I realised that the metal behind it wasn't exactly very sound. So obviously that's a new wing, or sorry, obviously that needs a new wing, so I've ordered a new wing for that. It would be possible to just cut out the dodgy section. Whether or not I'll do that, I don't know. I don't think I will, because it's a lot more welding. The reason why you might consider doing that instead of replacing the whole wing is because the panel fitment, I believe, of reproduction wings is not always quite as good. So what I might actually do is do a test fit and see how it looks. So yeah, that's that arch, and then you can see it's pretty rusty down there. There's some rust holes in the sill, but only only in certain parts. It's not too bad. And the back there, I'm gonna grind that down, grind the paint off, just so I can be 100% sure that it's only those wee bits. If it is only those wee bits, then there's no point in cutting the whole sill out and replacing it. I'll just use the replacement sills that I've ordered to just basically to cut out sections to replace. But we'll see what it looks like once I've got the rest of the paint off. I'll probably just do that now, because as you can see, I've sanded the rest of this side and half of the roof. I just used 1000 grit, apart from this area here where there are a lot of paint runs from when someone has painted it before, and also a line where someone has painted it without bothering to take the trims off. So yeah, 400 kind of made shorter work of that. You can see at the rear, it's pretty crumbly inside the arch, here, and there as well. And although, I mean, a lot of it is still fairly solid, it would be possible to repair that, but the time involved in trying to fabricate small parts to repair it is just not worth it. So what I'm planning to do is to cut out around here, and basically I'm gonna butt weld it. And the reason that I'm thinking of doing it here, because well, I suppose there's a little bit of rust going over there, but the main reason for doing it here is because I think it'll be easier to use some magnets to hold the panel in place. I know that sometimes people put they'll like weld a panel on the inside, just to make it a little bit easier. So I'll see what it looks like just kind of holding up with magnets, and if I feel like that's not gonna give a good result, then I'll need to figure out how to weld something on the inside. What was I gonna say? I've forgotten. I'll come back to whatever it was. Bottom corners, they're a bit rusted as well. Again, I'll need to take the rest of the paint off the back, but I suspect that it's just these bottom corner parts, and that the rest is fine. I did notice that you can buy just the corner panels, but it's actually more expensive to buy 2 of them than it is to buy the whole panel on the back, the lower part of the panel on the back. Come around here again, you can see there's some corrosion there. That's not too bad. Down there you can see we've got some holes again. If I move my arm out of the way, got some holes again. I mean that is you know, that is repairable, but it's pretty rusty and it will come back through again. Look at the shady paintwork on that wing. It's pretty bad. So yeah, I'm just going to replace that wing as well. And then you can see probably the worst bit on either of the sills is this bit down here. Again, I'll grind the paint off on this side, but I think the rest of it's not too bad. That's just surface. That's not you know, that's not a hole or anything. Well, you can tell for sure when I actually sand this side, but I'm pretty confident that that's not a problem. There's wee bits on the windscreen which is typical for these cars. So what I'll do is see if I can get in there with a wee grinder, maybe like a burr grinder or something, just to get rid of the rust and see what's actually there, and see whether it's something that, you know, I can fill to even it out, or whether I need to try and fabricate a little bit of a repair patch. And way bit up at the top there as well, that's not looking too bad. It looks worse than it is. And rear arch on this side, again, it's a bit crusty at the bottom. It's still pretty solid, but you can see that, you know, that is quite well rusted and pitted as well. So although it is repairable, that's just going to come back through again, especially with the moisture or water getting trapped in behind the plastic sill covers, arch covers. So the best thing to do, obviously, I want to do as good a job as I can. It's not a full restoration, it's more of a recommissioning, but I do want it to, you know, to be as good a job as I can possibly do. And you can see there on that side as well, just that little bit there that's crusty. So yeah, I'm sure that what I'll need to do with that is just cut out those wee bits, and then cut out the same bits on the other panel, the replacement panel, and that should do the job. So what I'm going to do just now is just heat up this vinyl strip. Actually no, I won't. I think I'll grind the sill on the other side first, excuse me, and then that's it all done. And then yeah, I'll probably move around the back, take that vinyl strip off, and then start sanding that. Thanks for watching another episode. I really did not expect what I found under the plastic arch trims or under the bumpers. Just looking over the car in general, I just wouldn't have expected it to be as bad as that. So, but it is what it is, and it's another learning curve in terms of doing lots of repairs. So, so that's good, I suppose. He says. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then please do subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you subscribe before the end of November, then it could be you who I'm delivering £500 in cash to on the 1st of December.